Maybe if I shout, you can hear me. Maybe if I raise my voice, you can hear me. Maybe if I do that, you'll hear me. Test, test. Okay. Now you can hear me, y'all. My kings and queens, I see you. I see you. I hear you and I feel you. I hear you. Next up, we have a recent graduate from the University of Guelph. Degree in History and English, will be attending Brock University for Teachers College, teaching our youth. Come on, come true. She may have grown up in a predominantly white town in a home with a white mother, but a black father. She grew up with a lot of black influence in her life, struggled with identity. It wasn't until high school that she began to explore her biracial experiences, and through spoken word, she's been able to use this as an outlet. I hope that you honor her today, Natalie Ann.
Wow, hello Guelph. I don't know how well I can follow that last one. It was absolutely beautiful, but here we go. I was and still am privileged. I was privileged to not know what racism was until high school. I was privileged to grow up in a home where white, my mother, and black, my father, were one and the same. I was privileged to live in an environment where black and white weren't separate, but rather mixed to create the beautiful color on mine and my brother's skin. And I was privileged to grow up in a safe and well-off neighborhood. But as soon as I stepped out the door of that childhood home, my privilege changed. Suddenly, I had the privilege of an identity crisis at 15, as most teens do, but unlike theirs, mine had to do with navigating my racial identity. I had the privilege of coming to the realization that some people hated me, not for anything I'd done, but for the color on my skin. I had the privilege of working 10 times harder than my lighter classmates for the same opportunities and recognition, and I wasn't always successful. I had the privilege of being judged by every single person I encounter before I've even said hello. I had and still have the privilege of justifying my anger towards your racism because I'm half white and therefore only entitled to be half offended by your ignorance and insensitivity. I have the privilege of being followed around in expensive stores because according to society, the only reason someone who looks like me could be in such a place is to steal something. I also have the privilege of fearing for the lives of my brother and my father every single day, hoping that they're not pulled over on their way to work. But I also have a privilege to not accept this world outside my childhood home. I have the privilege to show others what living with my color looks like. And I, like the rest of you here, have the privilege to stand up to systemic racism and demand a change. Thank you.
Thank you.